Hey, what's up, YouTube? Red and Bordy here. Today, we're going to talk about Ashes of Creation and more specifically, the delay in the alpha plans. So, Bordy, I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was I believe, at the end of last year, Ashes of Creation released a projection on how the alpha testing would go. And just recently, this week, they made a modification to that calendar or whatever you want to call it, due to some things they found out in the first two. So the first test was in December, and then the next test following that was in February. And they had mentioned specifically that the results that they had in those two tests kind of led them to the point where they thought that a delay would be good. So, Bordy, what's your initial take on the delay of the alpha testing?
So I think it was kind of something that was to be expected, because Steven did say, and he was very candid about it, that the testing is for testing purposes and that schedule was not set in stone. He made that announcement whenever the schedule came out. And so it's kind of like, it's probably going to be adjusted at some point along the way. But so the actual delay itself is fine. You know, it is what it is, man. It's a delay. You want them to put out the best possible product that they can. But what I think the kind of the big takeaway from this is, like, you know, who are they delaying for? Because the testers that are in there now are the testers that are already or the testers that would be able to test are the same testers that are already testing the game, except for the content creators. So they're kind of protecting their IP at this point. So there must have been something in there going wrong that they didn't want to share just yet, because they don't want that out in the open. And that's really the only reason they would have delayed, right? Is because that is when the NDA drops, and that's when everyone's going to see the product. So they're kind of, something has happened and something is not ready for them to push out for the public. I think they're afraid that the game may be perceived negatively at this point if they pushed out the product they have at hand, and they don't want to release the NDA and show it to the world whenever it's not what they want, right? So I think they're just kind of protecting themselves a little bit in this situation.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. The testing will continue. They will continue to collect data and add more into the alpha client. But the big thing is the NDA drop has been pushed back. Let's just quickly compare what the changes are. So the initial plan was from March 19th, which would have been this next upcoming week, to March 26th would be the first alpha preview, which would not have an NDA. It would be when the NDA drops. So technically, it should have or would have dropped this week. Now the first no NDA test will be May 14th through May 21st. So almost a 2-month pushback from that initial NDA drop. And then the all-in Alpha 1 testing, which means everybody who has the Alpha 1 access, persistent world of 1 month, has been pushed back from April 6th to May 6th, which is what the initial month-long period would have been, to now June 1st through June 30th. So that, again, is about 2 months, give or take a week there, Bordy. So a 2-month delay off of, again, like you said, I think the main thing is not that they are, particularly behind in development or behind in the work that they're trying to do. I think I think they, given the fact or what they had, like you said initially, what they had to show the public, they would like to probably polish a little bit more before it's actually released to a non-NDA state.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because at this point, even though it is an Alpha 1, it's kind of common sense for most people to look at the product and think, well, what we're getting here is not what we're going to get whenever the product is finished, right? But in this day and age, man, people judge alphas very harshly. So whenever an alpha comes up and that's what people see, they're going to make a decision on that moment whether or not they want to buy the game. It doesn't matter that has the Alpha 1 tag. It doesn't matter that the game's going to be completely different, in a year or whatever, whenever it actually releases. What matters is what they see then. They're going to make their judgment then, and then they're going to decide, I don't want to buy the game, or hey, that looks pretty cool, I'm going to buy the game. And or I'm going to continue to follow the game, or I'm just going to stop following the game altogether. And so I think they're aware of that, and so they're trying to make this as polished of an experience as possible. But I don't think they're doing it. This letter says that they're doing it for kind of the current alpha testers or the people that are going to be in there. I don't think that's entirely true, because I think that I think that it's more about the NDA. It's more about the public. It's more about public perception of what the product they have now versus the testers that are currently playing the game, right? But it's PR. They have to throw that out there. They're not going to say that in this letter, obviously. They'd probably get torn apart if they said it. But I think reading between the lines, you can kind of see that. I mean, it's all about dropping the NDA. They want to have a great experience so people buy the game, and so the game will ultimately be successful. First impressions are a strong thing, man.
I agree. I think a lot of it is the first impression factor. Also, Bordy, I will say we do know someone in the testing, particularly, and they have mentioned that not necessarily that obviously there's a lack of content or they're saying things that aren't in there, but they're having some trouble with keeping the client up, and that I think they've made that public even at this point. That they're having to bring the client down and pull it up and stuff like that, and that isn't something when you're promising a persisting world to these people that are backing you. You don't want that to be the case, right? Especially, people are pledging in at the Alpha 1 level. Another thing, Bordy, too, to wrap this up real quick is, maybe they do truly think that, the people that had kind of pledged that extra amount to get in way early haven't got enough time with the game in the exclusive way that you would hope, being a backer of that stature. So maybe it is a little bit to do with those people that, have been set up to test the world right now, and that maybe have been shorted in some way because of the performance of the client.
Yeah, maybe so. If that's the case, then kudos to them, because that's a nod towards the players that are supporting them so far. Right. And maybe that is the case. Who knows? I would lean more towards the other direction. I would lean more towards the dropping the NDA, because I think that is a big deal for this game. This game has a tremendous amount of hype still surrounding it, and I think, dude, whenever this drops, there's going to be a lot of big streamers, a lot of big content creators all over this. They're going to be playing it. They're going to be showcasing the game. There's going to be a ton of eyeballs on this game. And Steven's going to be lurking in the streams, just like he has in the past. Creation is mentioned. That's going to be a very, very big week for this game and for the sales of this game. So I think they want the hype to continue to move forward versus people, not seeing a good product and kind of, washing it away a little bit.
Yep. And I definitely think there's wisdom there, even if the choice is to delay the drop of the NDA. I think, you're exactly right. We are in an age where people expect full blown. I mean, look at Valheim, dude. Valheim is early access, and that game is 100% in a playable state. A very presentable game, even as a full release. Yeah. And that was like what, 3 to 5 people on the team. So you definitely want to get that first impression in that, hey man, this is going to be an awesome game. Even though this is a fourth of what is promised, we are continuing to build the hype up towards release. With the no NDA alpha client. So I agree 100%. All right, man. Well, it's been fun talking to you about Ashes of Creation. Unfortunately, there's a delay, but I'm behind it. I think as gamers, we all just need to understand that sometimes, things don't always go the way that we would hope. And the devs feel the same way. There's no way that they would delay it if it was just strictly based off of, trying to make us all unhappy. There's something that needs to be changed, and kudos to them for being bold and delaying and making that happen, because we all know games haven't done that, and those games probably regret that decision that they made. So
yeah, I would agree with that.
So all right, man. Well, guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and the notification bell for more Ashes of Creation content like this. We put up videos every day, Monday through Friday, at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, we'll see you next time.